Good evening and welcome to IONTV News Bulletin. I'm byShaika Mohammed, bringing you the latest news in the UK and around the world. Starting off with the UK. The funeral of Captain Sir Tom Moore was a fitting send-off, his daughter said. Saturday's service for the 100-year-old, who raised almost £33 million for the NHS charities, began with him being honoured by the military. COVID tests on people have shown that there is a lower infection rate in England, a science government has said. Secondary pupils in England will be asked to take a rapid lateral flow test twice a week from 8 March to help identify anyone who might be infectious. Businesses support, including furlough and the VAT cut for hospitality firms, will continue while lockdown persists, the business secretary has said. Kwasi Kwarteng said it was important to keep companies going and there was every chance the economy would bounce back in the second half of the year, he added. Chancellor Rishi Sunak will set out his plan in the budget on Wednesday. Among measures to be announced, he will extend the £20 a week top-up to universal credit for 6 months to help struggling households. Mr. Sunak is also expected to allocate £408 million to museums, theatres and galleries in England to help them reopen when COVID restrictions ease, while pledging £150 million to help communities take over pubs in danger of closing. Scottish Government lawyer had reservations about its court battle with Alex Salmond for more than 2 months before it conceded the case. The government only admitted the following January that its investigation into complaints against Mr. Salmond had been unlawful. Deputy First Minister John Swinney had now admitted the concerns were raised. The government ultimately had to pay Mr. Salmond's legal fees of more than $500,000 on top of its own cost after admitting its investigation had been unlawful. The search for an individual infected with the COVID variant first found in Brazil has narrowed to 379 households in the southeast England, Health Secretary Matt Hancock has said. More than 1 million people were overcharged by energy firms during the process of switching supplies, the regulator of GEM has said. When a customer decides to switch, the rules state that they should be protected from prices rising while moving, which could take up to 3 weeks. 18 suppliers made errors leading to overcharging of £7.2 million. They are refunding the money and making extra payment in some cases, taking compensation total of £10.4 million. The biggest names in the sector, including British Gas, E.ON, EDF and Power, Scottish Power, SSE and Octopus, made these mistakes. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo is facing calls from colleagues in his own party to resign after a third woman accused him of sexual harassment. Mr. Cuomo, 63, denied touching anyone inappropriately, but apologizes if comments were misread. An investigation has begun after 2 former staff members also alleged harassment. 5 independently elected investigators have turned their attention to former President Donald Trump, a sign his legal woes are mounting as he no longer enjoys the protection once afforded to him by the Oval Office. France has changed its stance on who should get the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine, with the jab now allowed for older people with pre-existing conditions. People affected by comorbidities can be vaccinated with AstraZeneca, including those aged between 65 and 74, the health minister said. Those over 75 will continue to receive the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines. Several EU countries are still limiting the vaccine to the under 65, but Germany is currently discussing a similar move to France's. Just 273,000 AstraZeneca doses have been administered in France out of 1.7 million received by the end of February, the health ministry figures show. For Mexican President Andrés Manuel López Obrador, vaccinating all Mexicans is a matter of responsible national health policy as well as social justice. A group of nearly 300 girls who were kidnapped from a school in northwestern Nigeria last week have been released, a local official says. Recently in Bangladesh, although the citizens of the country are guaranteed to be voters, the Election Commission cannot ensure that the voters will be able to vote for the candidates of their choice. This constitutional institution cannot protect the Secretary of Voting either. This is the image emerging in the analysis of the environment and situation during the recent municipal election held in 5 phases. Failure to protect the Secretary of Voting is a punishable offence. Last but not least, sports. Manchester United need a top-class striker after Sunday's brave performance as Chelsea was undermined by a lack of quality up front. Irish amateur jockey Rob James says he is heartbroken at the damage he caused after being filmed climbing on top of a back of a dead horse. Make sure to wear face coverings over your mouth and nose at all times. Wash your hands frequently with soap. Keep yourself and others safe by maintaining social distancing. Stay home, follow the government restrictions, and keep the NHS safe. Keep an eye on IONTV News to be updated at all times. Thank you very much for watching.
ব্যাংকেও রেমিটেন্সের লাইন আর নয়, বাংলা রেমিট অ্যাপে বিকাশেও